Good day, this is JNN Weekday News. I'm Lafayne Wigan. Here now are the top stories. The Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions DPP is to rule whether a deaf man accused of beating slain St. James resident Mario Dean is to be formally charged. The matter was sent to the DPP after a language specialist in a report concluded the accused, who is incapable of speaking, is unable to understand the charges. Meanwhile, the court was told another accused, Adrian Morgan, is yet to receive a forensic evaluation that was ordered on his last court appearance. Mr. Morgan, who is diagnosed with schizophrenia, shouted expletives in court on his last court appearance. The other accused, Marvin Orr, who is also schizophrenic, is to receive further psychiatric evaluation. In an effort to deal with the increased demand for services, the Health Ministry has decided to extend the opening hours of some health centers. Health Minister Dr. Fenton Ferguson has instructed the Southeast Regional Health Authority, SERHA, to ensure that all is in place for this to be done immediately. Dr. Ferguson says this has become necessary as persons are having difficulties accessing certain medication in the private sector. He said persons are also unable to afford the fees for private care and tests being requested by some private practitioners. In Kingston and St. Andrew, the health centers at Hagley Park, Olympic Gardens, Duaney Park, Windward Road, and Maxfield Park will be opened from 8 in the morning to 8 in the evening. In St. Catherine, the St. Jago Park, Greater Portmore, and Linstead Health Centers, as well as the Morant Bay and Seaford facilities in St. Thomas, will also operate at similar hours. The Jamaica Urban Transit Company, JUTC, is reporting that there has been a dismal response to its appeal to commuters with multiple smarter cards to return them. This is forcing the state-run bus company to consider other options. Earlier this week, the JUTC urged commuters with multiple smarter cards to return them, as this is affecting the delivery of cards to others. It stated that 9,000 smarter cards were released last week, and it's believed many were issued in duplicate to persons who have changed their identity. If Jamaica is serious about growth, then it is critical that we change attitudes towards business closures, which we describe as failures. More in this report.
According to Commerce Minister Anthony Hilton, insolvency should be seen as a natural occurrence and not treated as a disgrace.
Sound insolvency laws must be implemented to promote the efficient redistribution of the assets of these businesses, allowing those assets to be put to the most productive use. They can seek the protection of the court rather than going out of business and reorganize themselves.
He was speaking Tuesday in the House of Representatives, where he piloted the bill to amend the Insolvency Act, stating that it represents a balance between the need for entrepreneurship while protecting against imprudent business operations. And in support of the bill, opposition spokesman on finance Audley Shaw says failure is not falling down, but the inability to get up and keep going. He pointed to one shortcoming of the bill.
Is the lack of protection for individual homeowners from losing their homes. And we have their primary place of residence. That this bill does not protect homeowners in that respect. In other jurisdictions, they have it. We need a provision similar to what now exists in the United States, where a person's house, where he lives, gets protection from foreclosure and it gets protection from eviction.
In response, Mr. Hilton noted that the issue raised by Mr. Shaw was dealt with at the Joint Committee stage, and although an important consideration, it could not be included at this time.
But we admitted and we recognized that it was a matter for consideration. We did in the event address the issue of persons' income, that those income, although a part of it could go towards repayment, as part of the bankruptcy proceeding, that would be limited, that they couldn't just garnish the wages without court protection, and that would be limited to an amount as provided, recommended by the supervisor and the court proceeded. So the court would protect in the final analysis.
For JNN, I am Jervis Tomlinson.
News now in sports. The Reggae Boys were defeated in their international friendly against Japan. The game ended 1-0 with an own goal scored by defender Nyron Nosworthy. The game was played Friday in Niigata, Japan. The defeat meant the Jamaicans remain winless in their last 6 matches, while the Japanese were winning for the first time in 6 matches. This is the Reggae Boys' last international fixture ahead of the Caribbean Cup here in Jamaica next month. And those were the headlines for this hour. You can watch or live stream at JamaicaNewsNetwork.com. I'm Lafayne Wigan, and this is JNN News Worth Watching.